searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds chirping and I hear my name, grasping into a life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah. Lion's gonna come. The birds have just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for the land. Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when trees were swung. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah.
You stole my heart of gold after my silver soul. Can you dig any deeper now? I gave you all I own, put you on this golden road, but I'm a cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now.
You always want what you can't have, and while you have it, you can. But still, my heart, the moment I laid eyes on it. Well, how do you know? How you will feel when everything changes. This fear. Where will I go? Where will you be? How will I know? How do you know? How do you know? How do you know? You always want what you can't have, and while you have it, you can. But still, my heart, the moment I laid eyes on it. Well, how do you know how you will feel when everything's
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final round of the ERS GT3 Championship. And coming into this round, we have the standings very, very close. Makovkin leading the standings on 171 points, followed by Kedzia in second on 166, and then Hugo Collot in third on 163. So it's anyone's game here to win the championship between the top three, and they're all surprisingly in the Audi Evo 2. So the new Audi that's recently come out. But in this qualifying session, Field has taken pole position for Nurburgring, the Porsche, a very dominant car at Nurburgring, followed by 4 Audis So Collot in second, Makovkin in third, and Kedzia in fourth. So pretty much the top three in the championship, second, third, and fourth in this race. They're going to be battling out on track as well for position. And the scoring in this championship is as follows. So first is 35, second is 30, third is 28, fourth is 27 points, and fifth is 26. So really, if we look at the standings, Makovkin is sitting comfortably for now, but it's just a 5-point difference between Makovkin and Kedzia. So if one of them happens to finish P1 and P2, they're going to be tied at the end of this final round. Let's get your predictions in the comments, in the chat. Who do you think is going to take the race win here, and who do you think is going to follow on the podium second and third? An 80-minute race here at Nurburgring. And there is also one mandatory stop for this race. And the drivers will require a tyre change within a pit window. And the drivers just lining up side by side. Preparing for the race start. Here we go, we are green then, and field off to a very good start, but that's Collot on the outside coming down towards turn one. Look at the two Audis on the second row there. That is Makovkin and Kedzia side by side, but it looks like Collot very deep in the race into turn one, but field holds on to P1 coming into turn two. Then Collot in third, and Makovkin following very close behind in third. He's going to have a look up the inside. Oh, very sideways there under the brakes. Caught a bit with the Astro on the outside, and managed to save it just in time, but he's lining up in third, looking to gain a position early on. Kedzia following through in fourth, and Nufriev in fifth. So many Audis here. Top five, just two manufacturers, Audi and Porsche, and field is under immense pressure on the early stage of this race, in the opening lap. And we've already got a drive-through there for Castillo. That must have been a either position on a race start or speeding on race start. Coming through the Schumacher S, the Porsche really excels through there. But the Audi of Collot on a mission here. They've already opened up a slight gap to Makovkin. It's nothing much, but they won't have to worry about him for a second. At the moment, it's just the top two that are very, very close. Kedzia dropping back slightly as well. He's had to defend from Nufriev behind in the 992 Audi. But Nufriev not within attacking range just yet, and that's Kedzia slightly wide through the final chicane. had two wheels on the dirt, and that final corner wasn't great from him. Look at the Collett and Makovkin, P2 and P3. As we saw there, Collett just trying to break the slipstream, but he's going to have to go defensive early now, coming down towards turn 1. Makovkin with the slipstream down the straight, down the start-finish straight, but he wasn't able to get the move done coming into turn 1. And these two battling is going to let field really pull away. And Nufiev trying to make a move here on Kedzia. Now it's brought the two Bentleys, Soldatov and Pityuk, into the battle. We've got battles all over the field here, looking down in P9. That's Hermonto in the 29 AMG. They're being hassled by Campanella in the number 19 Ferrari, coming through this long right-hander here. What I'd call a hairpin, and now coming through the Schumacher S's. Mercedes does seem to struggle there slightly. The Ferrari, a well all-rounded car, he's going to have a look. No, he had to back out of that. It was not close enough to go for a lunge. And you can see in the background as well, the number 11 BMW. Just waiting in the wings here to pounce on any mistakes that one of these two make. We've got another pack here. It looks like Peklaj in P12 has got a train of cars behind him. That's about six cars here, I think. That is Catalano having to defend the final corner there from the number 17 Ferrari, but the number 17 Ferrari, after trying to go for a move in the final corner, is now going to have to defend coming down towards turn 1. The BMW having a look around the outside. Both going to leave each other enough space. The BMW tried to get the inside for the next corner. The Ferrari not really leaving any room. Closes the door there and holds on to the position. Good defending. And now Christian Rost down the inside of... oh no, sorry, there's been contact there. Rost has been spun out. Oh, and a deadly rejoin there. He's been spun out by one of the McLarens. I think that was the number 4 McLaren. And Rost all the way down to P24. I think he's actually retired then from the race, has Rost. We'll go back to the race lead field with a comfortable lead here, 7/10 to Collett and P2, but Collett and Makovkin battling out for the championship. Kedzia has lost a lot of time, but still not out of the fight just yet. We're still very early on into this race, but it just can't seem to keep up with the drivers in front. You can see the last lap from Kedzia was a 155.3, and from the top 3 they're all in the 154s. Kedzia has got an Nufiev and Soldatov very close behind, and one mistake can lose Kedzia a number of positions here. Kedzia really just wants to work together with these two behind him. They don't really want to be battling too much. If they can focus on themselves, they can possibly catch this pack just up ahead. Doesn't seem to be too much battling going on just yet. It seems like we've got a 15-second penalty then for Taylor in P20, and a DSQ from Castillo down in P23. So unfortunate for those two. We'll look down to the battle for P12. Catalano has got 4 cars behind him. Might even be some more, but I think at the moment it's 4 cars behind him. And we'll see if we can get a rear view wing cam here. Catalano now with a 15-second penalty as well. I assume that would have been for the contact earlier on coming into turn 3. Now Catalano with that 15-second penalty isn't really fighting for any of these positions, but he's going to race and fight for position nevertheless. Number 17 Ferrari looking very strong. He's got the slipstream coming down towards turn 1, doesn't really seem to be doing that much. The Ferrari later on the brakes and takes a much tighter line there. And it seems to have helped because you can see the Ferrari's closed in ever so slightly. The top 3 still as it were, Field in P1, Collot in P2, Makovkin in P3. Kedzia's holding on and has opened a slight gap to Anufiyev in P5. But Kedzia dropping back almost 2 seconds to Makovkin in P3, so something's happened over there. But Kedzia now actually into the 154s, so matching the times at the top 3, not really gaining anything. I think it may have to come down to one of the drivers in front making a mistake, or it could be all gained in the pit stops. See, that's Kaczynski in the number 4 McLaren, hassling the back of the number 17 Ferrari, trying to get a move done, but it's not possible when you're that far back coming through this chicane. Now up towards the final corner, not really a place you see many overtakes. Best thing is to get that exit speed through the final corner, and then you can get the run coming down the start finish straight and get the move done into turn 1. McLaren very late on the brakes there, gained a lot of time, and he's going to have a look up the inside. No, moves back over to the racing line then. And I think Kaczynski needs to be very careful here under the brakes. Doesn't want to be tagging the number 17 Ferrari. Too, and a bit of a slide, bit of understeer as well from the McLaren just behind. It hasn't really lost him much time. Go back trackside now, and it looks like Kedzia has really closed the gap to Makovkin. Makovkin's made a mistake somewhere, almost a second slower that last lap compared to Kedzia, and Makovkin has definitely dropped a lot of time to Collot in P2. The gap's 1.9 seconds now between those two. And it doesn't seem like there's any damage on that Audi of Makovkin. And he must have had a slight off or a slight moment somewhere. And now that last lap of 154.5 from Makovkin, back on pace. And I think between these top 4, top 5, top 6, It's just going to come down to mistakes, really. Who makes the least mistakes, who can be the most consistent during this race, because if you look at the top two, Field and Collett, they're not really gaining or pulling away from one another. The gap's been 7/10 pretty much since the race start. Now looking down to P13, it looks like Kaczynski has got the move done on the number 17 Ferrari. We've got a yellow flag somewhere. That would be for Duran, who has unfortunately retired as well. So Surkan Duran out of the race. And look how close Campanella is to Hermanto, coming out towards the Schumacher S is now using all of the track available, but the Mercedes not with the best exit, and he's run wide. They're bouncing all over the exit curb, and Campanella's got the move done. The number 11 BMW having a look up the inside, but wasn't close enough, and had to back out of that to avoid any contact. Now coming down this long back straight, which does have a right-hander in it, but it's not really much of a corner. And looks like Hermanto's going to keep on to P10 here, the BMW of Holligan, not able to get past. We'll go on board here with Oliger coming down towards turn 1, the Mercedes of Hermanto going defensive. Seems like the Mercedes is running very high wing there. And now under the brakes for turn 1. Mercedes going very, very defensive. Hermanto keeping the position for now. And looks like Oliger not able to get this move done just yet. Coming down towards turn 3. Oh, he has a look. Tries to force Hermanto into an error. Hermanto doesn't seem to be phased at all. We'll go quickly to the battle for P1. I've just had a look at the deltas, and it's come down quite a lot, quite significantly there. Now down to 3/10. Seems to have opened up a bit more. Now we come down the start-finish straight, back to about nearly 7/10 there. And that last lap, Collett was definitely quicker than Field, just by a tenth. But it's still something. Collett has a good chance here of winning the championship. Field is not really in contention for the championship. Let's have a quick look where Field is in P4 in the championship currently, and on 134 points, whereas Collett is on 163. So quite a big difference between those two. And where is Kedzia? Kedzia is currently in P4, Makovkin in P3. So let's have a look at the difference between P2 and P3 in the championship in terms of points. So P2 is there's only 2 points between the P2 and P3 then, so not a huge amount. If Collett finishes in P2, he's not going to be taking the championship off of Makovkin. There is an 8 points difference between Collett and Makovkin in the championship. Nufiev and Kedzi are still very, very close. These two have been neck and neck between, since the start of the race, but neither of them close enough to be going for any positions at the moment. And Solotov in the background likewise is slightly dropping off of these two. You can see his last lap matching Anufriev, but Kedzia lapping 2 tenths quicker than those behind him. Looks like Kamonto still holding on, and Oligo with a slight mistake through turn 1 there. Looks like he took a bit too much of the inside curb. See, after that mistake from Oligo, he hasn't really been putting as much pressure on Hamanto. On this lap at least, you can see in the background Catalano with the 50-second penalty, and Kaczynski in P13 as well, not too far behind. So they could definitely be in contention for this battle later on in this race. But back to the battle for P4. Anufriev inching closer, was a 10th quicker than Kedzia that last lap, so keep an eye on the delta between those two. Tempera looking good here, currently sitting in P16, but Peklaj in front, very, very close. But Tempera has to be careful because there is the 234 Lamborghini not too far behind him either. So any moves he might try and go for could open up the door then for the Lamborghini just behind. Tempera really not able to get close enough to Peklaj in front, so it's going to stay as it were between these two, P15 and P16. Back to the battle for P10. This seems to be the closest. Oh, I spoke a bit too soon. Oliga has dropped off once again. The gap's now a second between the two. It did show at 2 tenths not too long ago, but as they cross the next sector line, it has updated. Now Oliga dropping back a bit. Hamanto doing a really good job at defending at the moment, and he was quicker that last lap. But Cantilano reeling these two in at a rate of knots. The last lap at 156.2 from Cantilano, and from Oliga 156.8. So 6 tenths quicker that last lap. Look how close Anufriev is then to Kedzia as we come towards the Schumacher ERSs. through the final chicane. I'm sure Kedzie is feeling the pressure here. Nurburgring really hassling the back of Kedzie now onto the 12th lap. I would not want to see an Audi in my rearview mirrors at all. Look how mean it looks, especially behind the wheel. When you have an Nurburgring, you have to be careful. Nurburgring is very quick here at Nurburgring, and that last lap 2/10 quicker than Kedzie. Just definitely has the pace to get past, but it's just a matter of making the move. Nurburgring, not the widest of tracks. Looks like Hamonto now defending the position against Oliger. Now down towards the Dunlop curve. BMW having a look up the inside. Is he going to be late from the brakes? No, Hamonto not phased once again, sticking to the racing line. Just focusing on the track ahead of them. Hamonto knows that Oliger won't go for a move there. You can see the Mercedes not taking as much of the curb. It's like a slightly compromised line there compared to Oliger behind. Now through the final chicane, look how close the BMW of Oliger gets. Is he going to have a look up the inside? He throws a dummy, but once again hasn't done anything to Hamonto. He's going to continue. Holding on to P10 here as we come down towards turn 1. Oliger not close enough to go for the move. Oh, I say that, he's gone for a look up the inside, almost making contact there with Hamonto, but it didn't pay off for Oliger, and he's lost a bit of time in the process. But these two battings really brought in Catalano behind, so now a 3-car battle for P10, almost to be a 4-car battle, or even 5-car battle here for P10. I'm sure we'll see that in a few laps time. Looking down to P19, Steve Taylor with the 15-second penalty, who's got Parks, Nick Parks very close behind them. BMW versus Bentley. Nick Parks 5/10 quicker that last time around. His quickest lap is a 1:57.5. Steve Taylor not able to get into the 1:57s just yet. And look at the gap between Nurburgring and Kedzie. It was a 10th. Seems to have opened up slightly then. Kedzie once again with a bit more breathing room. And now no one into the 54s that lap apart from the top two, Field and Collot, both in the 54s. Collot lapping slightly quicker than Field that last time around, but Field has now opened the gap to 1.7 seconds, so he's got a comfortable lead at the moment. Definitely can't rule out Collot though. If he's lapping quicker. Collot also with the fastest lap on 1:54.390 And Field's fastest lap at 1:54.397, so just 7 thousandths between those fastest lap times. Here we go then, and let's see if we can go on board with Cancelano. Get a good view of this battle. Just up ahead, BMW of Oliger trying that look up the inside once again. But he's really not close enough to go for a move there. He needs to be right on the rear bumper of Hermonto to get a move down into the braking zone. But he just can't really seem to get that close to warrant going for a move. You can see he's trying to do everything he can to get into the head of Hermonto here. It just doesn't seem to be working. And a bit of a slide on the exit from Oliger. Once again, those two almost making contact. Oliger trying another move down the inside, but had to overslow the car then to avoid making contact with Hermonto. And it looks like Cancelano has got the move done there on Oliger. Up into P12 goes Cancelano. That puts a car between Hermonto and Oliger. And Hermonto not really needing to worry about Cancelano, as he does have a 15-second penalty. I think that's going to put quite a lot of pressure off of Oliger now. And you can see Oliger's lost another position there to Kaczynski. So down to P13 is Oliger. Still up from... no, not up from his starting position. Oliger started in P9, so he's lost 4 positions so far. The driver who's gained the most positions, we've got a few who've gained 4 positions. So Nick Parks started P23, is now in P19, and Rivera, who's currently sitting in P8, in a bit of no man's land at the moment, but started P12. So 4 positions gained from Rivera. Looks like Parks has got past Taylor then, but they've both got a 15-second penalty. They're both battling for position, so it won't really make much of a difference. Park runs wide there. That's going to compromise his run coming up towards his final chicane. Is Taylor going to be able to get a move down the inside? No, the BMW doesn't have the best straight line speed. And once again, Parks hitting the barrier there. Took too much grass on the exit, and look at that damage he's got on the driver's side door of his car. And he's lost the position now to Taylor, just pushing a bit too much coming through that final chicane. It's very easily done, especially if you take too much curb. That damage isn't going to help at all. You can see they're a bit nervous under the brakes coming down towards turn 1. Back to the battle for a P10. Hermonto's got 2 ravaging McLarens very close behind. But Cantilano now having to defend his position from Kaczynski. So can't really go for a move yet on Hermonto. And very late on the brakes there into turn 1. It almost looks like they're going to make contact. They managed to stop the car just in time. And you can see pit window is now open. Soldatov, the first one to serve his mandatory stop. Soldatov has come out in P15 then. And now Makovkin into the pits, and Nufriev following through. That puts Kedzia into some clean air, nothing to worry about behind him either. But almost 7 seconds back to Collot in P2. Catalano into the pits as well. Kaczynski gets promoted a position up into P10. Hermonto doing a good job running in P9. Doesn't really have to worry about Kaczynski just yet. There is about a second between the two, so Hermonto can focus on himself and focus on the road ahead of him rather than looking in his rearview mirrors. Field and Kedzia now into the pits. That promotes Collot into the provisional race lead, so it looks like he's going to make it. Looks like he's going to go long here, but yeah, still 10 minutes left of the pit window, so plenty of time to go. Looks like after the pit stops, Soldatov has come out ahead of Anufriev. So Soldatov to playing the strategy right and coming out in P13 with Anufriev just 6 tenths behind. Kedzia now out of the pits, whereas Kedzia come out up into in P11. There Makovkin goes past Kedzia, coming out just in front of Soldatov. back to the battle for P5. Kaczynski is now within firing range here. So Hermonto is going to have to be careful, but will one of these drivers jump into the pits? Kaczynski knows he's faster, 3 tenths quicker that last lap than Hermonto. So will he try and go for the undercut? Collett now into the pits, the provisional race leader. Let's see, no, looks like Kaczynski's staying out. He wants to get the move done on track. Now where will Collett come out in comparison to Field in P10? Where is Collett? Collett hasn't been released yet. Now he's been dropped off the tracks and exiting the pit lane. Now looks like Field has got a nice gap to Collett, but I think it might be less than it was previously in the first stint. Oh, a big slide there from Collett, who managed to save it just about. That would be cold tyres. But let's see what the gap is between these two.
We're at the halfway mark, keep pushing.
There we go, halfway into the race now. Collett is P10, currently shows in the P7, but that will update once it crosses the next sector line. There we go, P10, 1.6 seconds to Field. I think it is slightly less. And Field is definitely being held up. Actually, this is good for Collett behind. Field is having to navigate his way through some traffic. Obviously, the drivers up ahead are on a different strategy, so blue flags won't actually be waved. They aren't really a lap down. And now the gap down to 1.2 seconds between these two. Looks to be a lot more than that. There we go, it's updated, 2.3 seconds between Field and Collett. So Field doing a better job at navigating through the traffic. Now looking at the battle for P12. Hold on. Where is P12 gone? There we go. So they've been bumped up into P7, P8, P9 due to the other drivers 7 in mandatory stops now. And Kedzie leading this 3-car train, followed by Soldatov in P8 and a Nurburgring in P9. I'm going to go on board here with Soldatov. And oh, there seems to be a car off there on the exit of the Schumacher races. That is Steve Taylor in the gravel. Let's hope we can get it going once again. Oh no, mistake there from Kedzie through the final chicane, and I think that is Soldatov upper position into P7. And Ketty down into P8, now being hassled by Nurburgring coming down towards turn 1. Is Nurburgring's going to have a look up the inside? You can see the closing speed there, but Nurburgring does have a look up the inside later on the brakes. And Ketty has to leave him the space there to avoid contact. But Ketty's going to hold on coming through to turn 2. Now Campanella, the only driver I believe still yet to serve the mandatory pit stop. Where is Campanella on track at the moment? Now into the pit lane, there we go. And just under 3 minutes left of the pit window, so no worrying there. Field still in the lead with a 1.8 second gap to Collett. So it has come down slightly. Collett that last lap 2/10 quicker than Field. Let's see what it is when they cross the line. Yeah, 3/10 quicker that last lap. So Collett really putting in the laps now. And the fastest lap of the race, that last lap, a 1:54.167. So Kedzia managing to hold on to P5 from Nurburgring. Campanella coming out in P9 now. Rivera in P8 is a bit further up the road there. It's about 4 or so seconds, I think. We'll see when it updates. Let's see if my prediction, my guess, is correct. The delta between these two might actually be more than 4. It will update once they cross the next sector line here. Oh, I think it's definitely more than 4 actually. It's probably about 5 or 6 seconds even between Rivera and Campanella. The moment of truth. Oh no, it's 3.5 seconds, and we have a McLaren off there. I'm not sure who that was. Just caught a glimpse of them. But there's no yellow flag, so everything seems to be okay. And here we go, a move coming into the Dunlop curve. The 234 Lamborghini down the inside of Catalano.
The window is now closed.
Now coming through the Schumacher S, the Bentley seems to be a bit slower through there. You can see how close Kedzia and Nufiev have got to the back of Soldatov after that one set of corners. Kedzia very loose there through the final chicane. Managed to hold it together, but that's what we saw last time where Kedzia made a mistake, was doing that chicane. Kedzia and Soldatov lapping very similar times here. 55.072 from Kedzia and 55.085 from Soldatov. So really nothing in it between those two, and you can see Anufriev slightly dropping back. But strangely, the previous lap he was quicker than both these two. One of 55.017. It looks like we are watching the battle with Hermonto and Oliger before the pit stops, but Hermonto down into P15, and you can see Oliger is in P12, so it must have been a disaster of a pit stop, or he's made some mistake, has Hermonto. Soldatov holding on very well here. He's got another 27 minutes left of the race. Can he hold on for that much longer is the question. It's so much easier when you're behind to just follow a car than when you're out in front. You have to lead the way yourself. The gap at the top still around 2 seconds. Hasn't really come down at all. The Audi very strong on the brakes then into turn 1. And a big slide there for the number 17 Ferrari coming through the fine chicane, but he managed to catch the slide. And coming through the final corner, he's somehow held on to P11 there. Oliger was not able to capitalise on that mistake from the Ferrari number 17. It looks like the gap at the top has come down to 1.8 seconds. We've seen that happen before. Collett closes in the gap and then it goes back to 2 seconds, so maybe the concertina effect. So we don't know where they are on track at the moment. Let's have a quick look. Coming into turn 3 now. But that last lap, Collett was 3/10 quicker. So he definitely is closing in the gap then to field. But it seems like Collett may have picked up a track limit warning there. Or maybe a no time gains, but his lap is, current lap is invalidated. The number 234 Lamborghini now defending from Cantilano. Flash of lights there from Cantilano. And very late on the brakes there through a Dunlop curve, almost tagging the back of the Lamborghini. McLaren struggling there through that final chicane. Definitely does bottom out slightly, especially since you have to run the right hook the McLaren really low. And the gap at the top back up to 2 seconds. So at the moment doesn't seem like Collett's going to be gaining that position off of field. Rakovkin in a good position here to win the championship, barring any penalties he picks up, if there are any. But he seems to be out in no man's land on his own here but that was Anthony and the 234 Lamborghini with a mistake there. The McLaren of Catalano not able to get past just yet. It's going to be on the outside, and there has to tuck back in, but he's going to focus on the exit now, coming down towards the Dunlop curve. He's going to be on the inside, is the McLaren. Let's see if he can get the car stopped in time. And it looks like he does. So a good move there from Cantilano up into P15. Back to this battle for P6 then, for P4 actually, sorry. Solotov leading the group still, followed by Kedzia and Anufriev, who seems to be struggling now with the car. You can see the distance and the amount of time he's lost just through a couple corners. There we go, that is Kedzia on the inside of Solotov. They are side by side now, coming down towards turn 1. Solotov slightly more in front there, but Kedzia later on the brakes, and still side by side coming through turn 1. Solotov with just the nose up the inside through turn 2, but Kedzia's going to try and hold it around the outside, went a bit too deep. And Sototov's going to have the inside for the next corner, turn 3 now. Still side by side, but looks like Solotov has held on to the position there, and Anufriev's caught right back up to these two. Kedzia doing everything he can to get past Solotov. Both those two running slightly wide there, taking a lot of the curb, and you can see Anufriev just gaining on them through that left-hander. Having to back out slightly. Solotov going very defensive, coming up towards the final chicane, keeping the car in the middle. So Kedzia can't go either left or right of him, has to stay behind. Oh, a bit of a domino effect there. Bit of contact between the two, and Anufriev now down the inside of Kedzia, and I think he's got the move done. Let's go truck side just to confirm that. They're still side by side, but Kedzia losing another position then to Anufriev. Kedzia down to P6 and Anufriev up into P5. Now this time round, Solotov sticking to the normal racing line, doesn't really have to defend from Anuфriев. You can see the cars really bouncing through that final chicane. And we'll go down to the battle for P8 in just a moment. Anuфriев with his better run out the final corner, and he's got the slipstream. He's going to have a look up the inside, come towards turn 1, but no moves back up to the racing line. Solotov braking quite late there just to avoid the lunge up the inside from Anuфriев. And we'll switch to this battle now. Tempera and Hermonto battling out for P13. Likewise, we have another battle between Rivera and Campanella. Ferrari seems to be able to go much later on the brakes than the McLaren of Rivera. You can see how much he catches up. Looks like Rivera is braking a bit too much. Campanella now just focusing on the exit. He's going to have the slipstream. You can see the closing speed now. Rivera's going to have to go defensive, and he does. Moves back over to the racing line though. Campanella having a look on the inside. No, there's just not enough space there, and he makes a mistake coming through the chicane, and a big slide there from Campanella, but keeps it out of barriers. I think that position isn't really on his mind anymore. Just under 13 minutes left of the race. It is definitely possible. Campanella's going to have to work extra hard to catch back up to Rivera. Monto not able to get past Tempera just yet, but he's definitely got the pace advantage. You can see just in front there is some traffic. There we go, getting out of the way of the cars on the lead lap. Mercedes really struggling through the Schumacher S's there. see it there, coming through turn 1, take too much curb on the inside like Monta did. Traction control really kicks in, and you're not able to get that exit that you need, but nevertheless Monta is still right on the back of Tempera. It's just a matter of making a move. 10 minutes left of the race, and time is running out here for both of these two. More for Hermanto because he needs to get this move done, but it's not easy to overtake a car as big as the Bentley. And a bit of contact there between the two, but Tempera managed to hold the slide, and Hermanto loses some time as a result. Bouncing over the curb, the inside curb there. Here's the AMG. He had a bit of a slide on the exit. He needs to be careful with taking large amounts of curb. Usually the Mercedes handles it very well, especially coming through this final chicane. You can take a lot of the curb. Hermanto not as confident through there as Tempera is. But now we go to the battle for P4. These three still battling out, but Kedzia slightly dropping back. It's between Anufried and Soldatov. Really gap only a few tenths between these two. And a slide there. A big mistake from Anufried through the final chicane, but he managed to hold the slide, avoided any barriers, but this has put Kedzia back onto Anufried. Coming down to turn 1, Kedzia throws a slight dummy up the inside, but Anufried sticks to his racing line. He isn't bothered about that. He knows that Kedzia is too far back to go for that move, but Kedzia pretty much pushing him through turn through there. And a mistake there. As soon as we flick on board with someone, they seem to make a mistake, but Tempera with a mistake through the final chicane, and that's allowed Hermanto with an easy pass up into P13. Didn't really have to do much there. Just sat behind and kept the pressure on. It seemed to have worked for Hermanto. The gap at the top now, looking back to those two, is 2.5 seconds. Seems like Collot has slowed down. Back to the battle there in 4P5. Kedzia really not letting go and keeping Anufried on his toes here. But overtaking on this track, very, very difficult. And although Kedzia is, or seems to be slightly quicker, he can't get past Anushiev. Now the only driver into the 54s is Field, the race leader. Still lapping in the 54s. And here we go then, looks like that is a back marker having to move out the way. And they do so without any hassle. Soldatov has definitely lost some time as a result, and look how close, look how late Anushiev was on the brakes into turn 1, almost taking the back of Soldatov there. Now Anushiev still very, very close to Soldatov, just not able to get that move done. And time is running out from Anushiev. It's going to be a long 2 minutes here for Soldatov, constantly checking his rear view mirrors. And where is Field coming through? Turn 3 now and turn 4. So we're going to have one more lap after this one. There we go, leader now on the final lap. And we're currently watching this battle between Tempera and Cantilano. Cantilano has just got this lap then to get a move done. And likewise for Anushiev on Soldatov. Onto the final lap now. they're all a bit spread out and very late on the brakes once again. Somehow not making contact with Solotov. The Bentley just not able to brake as late as both Audis are. We'll go back to the race leader. He's coming down towards the Dunlop curve. Now they've got some traffic ahead of them. Could this be a game changer? That is S. Taylor just up ahead. But no, he's moved out of the way at the perfect moment. Then Soldatov seems like he's going to hold on. We've still got a few more corners to go, but back to the race leader Field, who is now coming to the final chicane. He's led a great race. Absolute dominant performance here from Field. Coming across the line in P1. Flash of the lights there
The leader has finished
from
the race.
him. Collot coming home in P2. Flash of the lights there from him too. I don't think it's going to be the championship for Collot. It's going to be Makovkin coming home in P3, who will be, I believe, the championship leader or championship winner here. And Soldatov managing to hold on. Anufrev holding on to P5. Kedzia not able to get that position. Kedzia losing 2 positions from his starting position in P4. Pidgic finishing in P6, P7. Vera coming up towards the final chicane. He's going to finish in P8. Kaczynski then rounding the final corner, going to finish in P9. Hasn't really got anyone near him. Campanella about 5 seconds back, finishing in P10, followed by the number 17 Ferrari in P11. Oliger in P12. Monta's going to finish in P13. You can see the background Tempera is going to hold on to P14 and Cantelo in P15, and the last driver 234 Lamborghini. A very nice power slide there through the final corner, and that is your race over then for the final round here at Nurburgring. You can see the top 3 drivers driving in formation then. But that is it. Those are your race results. And thank you for watching, and good night.